Bienvenidos and welcome to today's webinar. I think we have a few more people coming in too as well, so I'm gonna give them a quick second. But I'm actually gonna start the show here pretty soon. Um, Everybody, just give you a heads up who are all in here. I'm gonna keep you reiterating this. If you have any questions, concerns, there's going to be a Q&A box. I am monitoring it from this screen over here. So once I see your questions populate, I'll do my best to address them, both me and also Monica. All right. So that being said, welcome to the Mastering 90 Essentials, Concepts, and Skills. Today, we are going to be going over the accountability chart or responsibility chart. So if you're not familiar with that, you're going to learn a lot of information here today. You're going to learn how to navigate the responsibility chart. You're going to learn how to incorporate and cascade this information to your direct reports through the feedback or one-on-ones, and also, let's see here, the fit checks and things of that nature. So that being said, if you're not familiar with 90, we are a platform that integrates data, processes, and people into one comprehensive system. So you can achieve a short and also your long-term goals while accelerating your company's vision. Now, we are using 90's platform, like I said before. You may be utilizing EOS, Pinnacle, whatever the case may be. The language is going to be a little bit different, and I'll show you how to customize the language. Actually, Monica's going to show you how to customize the language once we get into that aspect of the software. All right. And by the way, too, I see more people populating in here. So, hey, if you have questions, like I said before, that's concerning the responsibility chart, make sure you chime in the Q&A box. We are not monitoring the comments section there. All right, so there's me. There's my picture. I'm the senior software trainer here at 90. I've been with the company since 2021, and I've been using some form of BOS since 2018, i.e. Pinnacle, EOS, 90, the list goes on. So if you are an admin account and you want to change the language or something on your organization that they may recognize, you do have that option there because it's very flexible with the software. Prior to being in the educational department, I was a client success manager, but I didn't transition to education, where I am now writing out the curriculums and giving these classes to you all. So it's kind of weird because, in the classroom environment, you can see everyone's faces, but right now I just see Monica, and she's just, I know she's staring at me or not or what. That's what's going on. And it's kind of hard to get that feedback, but, it's been working out a lot, and, we're coming up with different ideas. So if you have any suggestions for the next up and coming classes, feel free to chime down below. That being said, on a personal level, I just came from Cali, Colombia. I hiked a couple of hills. I picked up a few pounds too with all the delicious food like arepas and I think it's pronounced, is it abrahutos, Monica?
What I have.
They're abrahados. Anyway, they're very good, and don't try them because you might get hooked like I did. Anyway, I was trying to perfect my Spanish and also my salsa too as well. And I learned that I don't know either one of them once I went there. So it was a good experience though. By the way, I am definitely pleased to introduce our guest for today, Client Success Manager Monica Salamanca. She's going to share some of her industry knowledge and answer some core questions you may have in relations to the responsibility chart. So at this time, I'll let Monica introduce herself so she can get a better feel for what she's bringing to the table.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for joining this call today. As Nathan mentioned, my name is Monica. I've been working with 90 for around 3.5 years now. I started as a chat support lead, and now I'm a client success manager. Kind of navigating through what we call the client success expert. That's basically someone that knows how to handle multiple business operating systems. You will probably find me in multiple Q&A sessions you schedule, or what we call now the CS office hours. So I always say this to all my clients: if you need anything, please let me know. We're here to help. I know Nathan will be able to help, but I'm here to help too. So yeah, I think what I can give to this specific meeting, specifically for the accountability chart, is the knowledge that I've had with multiple companies. I know how a sales companies can handle the accountability chart, their best practices, their workarounds. So I feel like I don't have a lot of experience in multiple companies, but I've helped a bunch of clients. So I have that kind of observer experience. So I'm here for that. And yeah, I hope this session is really useful for you. And as Nathan mentioned, please ask anything in your mind and we'll go through all of that.
Thank you. And don't let her downplay herself, everyone, because I go to her for almost everything. And it's kind of, I think I might be a little bit annoying because I ask her for so much questions and things of that nature. So yeah, Monica is definitely a good source to have. So reach out to her, not me. I'm just playing. All right, so going into slide 5 here. So what is the responsibilities chart? Okay, so using the responsibilities chart, it's going to enable your team to have a clear understanding of the priorities, which can help streamline workflows and also increase productivity. It's a centralized view for ensuring that nothing falls through the cracks, if that makes sense. Did you want to elaborate on that at all, Monica? Or is that pretty good?
No, I think that's great, but I would just add that not only you will find the organization and the structure of your company, but also your roles and responsibilities, which is the highlight of a responsibility chart. You know exactly what you need to do in your seat. We will talk about this, but this will be really connected with the feedback tool. So at some point, if there's any role and responsibility you want to discuss or adjust with your manager, you can do it. And yeah, you'll know who's your manager, who's reporting to you, who's your teammate. So all that visibility will be there.
And I think visibility is definitely the key here because sometimes a lot of people hide the accountability chart. And that may be due to maybe it's not ready to be rolled out with the rest of the department. Maybe you don't have everything into play. But essentially, once you have it built out, I think everyone should have access to it, not just the leadership team. And we'll explain how to do that too. And if you are building it out, I'll let Monica kind of guide you in regards to how to hide it from everyone aside from that leadership aspect. Going into slide 6 here, these are the key areas of discussion. We're going to start clarifying roles and responsibilities. We're going to navigate through the software with a demo too as well. And we're going to find out exactly how to tie in the responsibilities chart to the one-on-ones. I know a lot of people have been asking that in the comments. And then we'll answer any commonly asked questions. So remember, the Q&A box is going to be open for you all. If you do have any questions and concerns, by all means, feel free to chime in and let us know what's going on. At this time, I'm stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna have Monica go ahead and share hers, open up the responsibility chart, and we'll start diving into this first part here where it's gonna clarify the roles and responsibilities. All right, so let me go ahead and stop the share. If I can find my Zoom window, there it is right there. Bam. All right, go for it, Monica.
Okay, so
And while she's doing that, everyone, I'm just going to let you know, like when it comes to clarifying the roles and responsibilities, one of the main purposes of the responsibility chart is to ensure that each team member knows their roles and is in the project and what their specific task or deliverables may be in response and what they're responsible for. So this discussion may involve reviewing the chart and then also ensuring that each task is clear to the owner and that everyone understands the level of involvement. Okay. All right. So go for it.
yeah, so our first bullet point was defining our roles and responsibility charts, and you cover that really well, Nathan. You want to put there exactly what you need to do as the marketing manager, for example. Now, before I navigate through the accountability chart, or responsibility chart, just for you to know, you can always adjust that name in the platform. So in your left navigation panel, you have this section called responsibilities. But if for some reason you want this to be called the responsibility chart, you just need to navigate through your settings section. And under company settings, we have the Our Language section. You just need to click there, and we scroll down until we find the responsibilities section. Now you just need to put the right name. You save the changes, and as you can see, we have a new name for that specific section. And that's basically how you want to customize a language for any section in the platform, in case that will be common for your company and the language you're using. Now,
Oh, go ahead.
because
I was going to add
yeah,
one more. Yeah, I was going to say one more note too. So just keep in mind, if you are updating the language, just keep in mind all of the objectives are the same. You're still going to have your roles and responsibilities in relation to the what now is the responsibilities chart or accountability chart, organization chart. Everything is going to be all aligned. So all the objectives will be the same. It won't change any of that information, just the name.
yeah, that's correct. And now that you mentioned that, this will change for the whole company. So of course, the settings section will be restricted for some roles like managers or managees, but owners and admins will have access to it, and it will be visible for everyone in your company. Now, we are in the settings section, and as Nathan mentioned, you can hide your accountability chart and make it visible just for your leadership team. If that's the case, we just need to go through our configuration section, and we have this feature controls, let's say, panel. You can scroll down and you will find your responsibilities, private responsibilities. If you turn on this toggle, then this section will be visible just for the leadership team. So that's basically the main configurations you can have in your accountability chart or responsibility chart. Before we go there, please send us any questions you may have. Now,
And sorry, I was going to say one more thing. Sorry to cut you off. So just to piggyback off that, so when it comes to hiding the accountability chart or responsibility chart, whatever you're calling it, just keep in mind, you can have that information uploaded. So if you have something like on a spreadsheet, just send it to us. We'll upload that information to you for free and make sure it's hidden from everybody else until you actually, draw down the lines with your leadership team and really execute those roles and responsibilities that's going to be delegated to those specific seats. So if you have information to upload, it's free. We have a team that is dedicated to uploading that information. Typically, it takes around 24 to 48 hours, depending on that workload, I guess. And they'll have everything ready for you and ready to go.
Yeah, that's correct. And now that we're talking about that and hiding the accountability chart, if you turn this on, you can always turn it off. So I'm saying this because sometimes you're using your accountability chart section like a sandbox version of your accountability chart or what you're planning for the next quarter. So if you want to turn this on, adjust it with your leadership team and then share that with all the teams, that's something you can do. And I've seen a bunch of companies doing that. So don't feel bad if you hide these for a couple of weeks. That's actually something that you can do and is completely fine. Nice. So if you want to have access to our responsibility chart, you just need to go through your left navigation panel and click into the responsibility section. Now, here you will find, once you create your company, you will have a couple of C's with default information. And at the very top, you will find what we call the visionary and then your operator. Right now, we do not have the visionary seat. That's completely fine. Inside the operator, in the top right, you can show the visionary seat, and now it will be visible in your accountability chart. So this is a seat you can always hide or show depending on whatever you want. So now it's visible here. I can click on the More Actions button and hide it if I don't want to see it anymore. Now, yeah.
I was going to say, so me and Monica, before this, we were trying to figure out why would you hide the visionary seat? We had no real reason. So if you have an example as why you would want to hide the visionary seat, by all means, chime in and give us some ideas to kind of work with. I don't see an initial issue with hiding it unless they're not really active in this accountability chart, but you may have some other ideas. So feel free to chime down below.
Yep. Okay. So you have this visibility right here. I would say the responsibility chart is really user-friendly. So we have, for example, our marketing manager right here. We have a couple of roles and responsibilities. If I want to update this, I just need to click on the pencil icon and I'll have this creation box in the center of my page. Now I can add another role and responsibility. I just need to click on this plus icon. This can be something like creating social network campaign, for example. And the description is not mandatory, but you can add a description about this if needed. Now, you can also add attachments. So if there's any specific video, picture, document that this specific seat should review, you can add that there. Now, you can save this, and now you will have the new role or responsibility added here inside that specific seat. Now, you can assign, yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
Now I was going to say, let's go over the permissions too as well, because not everyone can make those sudden changes to the software, right?
You're right. So, owners and admins will have access to the accountability chart. They will have access to this pencil icon, so they will be able to update these. Managers too. Now, managees, the manager role, they will have access to the accountability chart, but they won't have this pencil icon, so they won't be able to update what you see right here. Cool?
Yep. And one thing more to take a big egg on that. So keep in mind, managers and above, they can always update this accountability chart, responsibility chart. But just keep in mind, managers can only create responsibilities or create a seat for individuals who are on the directory only. So if they're not on the directory, they cannot create that seat for the individual. So that will be up to an admin or owner to do. Can you show them how to add them to the directory real quick? Because they may be confused about that spot. Yeah, someone asked them right now, how do you add them to the directory? Can you answer that for them and show them real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So that's actually something really useful in our accountability chart is that you don't need to pay if you want to build the entire accountability chart. So if we go to our directory section, in the top right corner, you will have this add person icon. You can click on it and you will have two options. You can add to the directory only, or you can add to company. If you select add to company, then you will need to add the email. You will need to assign this person to a team, to add a role, and you will be paying for that specific user unless this is an observer. Now, with the add to directory only, you will be adding just a name in your responsibility chart. So this can be, so I'll combine my name with Nathan. This person doesn't exist, but I'll add it to my directory just as a name. I don't even need the email. I just click on add to company, and now I'll have it right here. In the future, I can activate this person if I want to. Now, if I go to my responsibility chart and I want to add this person to my marketing seed, I can click here and select user. Then I type the name of that person that I just added, and I'll have it right here. So that's what I mentioned. You don't need to pay for that person. It can be just a name. I've had companies, they do things like add a person, and in Q3 they want to hire a new salesperson, so you can add something like Q3 like this. And now if I go to my responsibilities, Christine won't be the operations manager, but it's a new hire. We don't know who this person will be, but it's someone we will hire in Q3. So a lot of flexibility there. You can add a bunch of names in your directory, or just the quarter where you will hire your operations manager, and it will be visible there. What do you think, Nathan? Is that useful? Is that clear?
Yeah, it's very useful. You didn't give me a ring either. I see that we're married now, so you provide that ring for me. So that's why I'm kind of traditional. Anyway, long story short, add as many people onto the accountability as possible, onto the responsibilities chart as possible. That way, everyone can have that full transparency about what their position is and also what seat is entitled to. Because remember, you are creating an actual seat, and the seat should be aligned with those roles and responsibilities, not the individual itself. The individual will have to meet those seat requirements. So it's important to build the information out prior to this, and that way you can start filling it in and make sure that everyone can be accountable for those actions.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so that's basically how you add users and add names to your directory so you can put them on the accountability chart. Now, if we want to add a new seed, we just need to click on this plus icon and start building that specific seed. So my seed name right under marketing can be something like marketing assistant. Now I can build my roles and responsibilities just as we did before. Just click on that plus icon, add the role title, something like creating marketing campaigns. We have a question right here, right? Charles is assigning to people to one seat a no in EOS, for example. Well, actually, no, that's best practice. If you have multiple sales managers, for example, or salesperson, for example, they will share the same roles and responsibilities. So that's actually a best practice. You can just create one seat and assign multiple people to that specific seat. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, actually, you'll learn to love this. So, say for example, if you're putting everyone into your responsibility chart, and you have multiple people into one seat, right? If that role and responsibility change for that particular seat, say for example, you're going through your quarterly meeting with your whole entire organization, you know what? We need to update this seat to align with our new vision, right? You don't have to go in there and manually change every single seat. You can change that one specific report and it will update for every single person within that specific seat. So that's one of the key notes there. And also too, a lot of people, for some reason, like to print out their responsibility chart. So when you print it out, you're going to have this giant sheet of paper with all these reports. So you can condense that information into one sheet of paper, save the trees so Captain Planet doesn't come after you. So yeah, definitely put them into one seat if possible. Now, if they do, if you find that they may have a whole entirely different seat, then you can start trickling them into different parts of the hierarchy, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. Boom.
Oh, and I think we have Charles said good feedback. Thanks. Okay, nice. So yeah, this is basically how you want to create a new seed. Just add the seed name, build the roles and responsibilities. Of course, you can always update in the future, so no worries. You can add just a draft when you're adding the new seed, and we can customize that in the future. So we just need to click on create seed, and now we will have two seeds under the marketing manager. As I mentioned before, if I need to assign a seat holder, just click on select user, and I can give this to Alex for the market representative. I can give this to Brandon, for example, if I want. Now, if I want to move my seats around, that's really simple. You have two options, basically. You can use these arrows to move to the left. You can move this back to the right. But if you need to move this seat and put this under a new manager, you just need to click here on this move to bottom. So let's say our marketing assistant should be, for some reason, under operations. So you just need to click on that move to bottom, and then you select the new manager. That will be the operations. That's assigned to quarter 3. Then I click on save, and that easy. It is now under operation. Okay. Nathan, what do you think? Anything else we should cover?
No, that's like butter. One thing you want to keep in mind too is that remember when you're creating your seats for the whole entire organization, clarity is going to be key. So you may notice on here, we may have 5 to maybe 7 roles and responsibilities in association with that particular seat. Keep that in mind. You don't want to have this long laundry list of roles and responsibilities for that 1, 2, 3 users, okay? Keep it clear, keep it concise, and keep it direct. That way it can really align with the vision and it's not causing any type of confusion within the organization. We don't want any overlapping data going in here with the roles and responsibilities. So when you have those clear key points, it makes things a lot more easy to be managed.
Okay, cool. Now, while you are reviewing your accountability chart, if for some reason you need to create an issue out of anything, let's say our marketing assistant, these roles should be updated because we just have one role and responsibility. So we just need to build this a bit more. You just need to click on the more actions button and you can make it an issue like this. And just by doing that during your level 10 meeting or your weekly meeting, you will be able to discuss that. And if you click on that more actions button, once again, you can also create a to-do. You can select this as the top seat. So that's the only seat that I'm displaying and the seats under it. And you can even clone these seats. So if I click there, that will create 2 seats with the same information, but no owner and no seat holder in the new one. So if for some reason you have similar roles and responsibilities and you don't want to retype everything, you just clone that seat and that's it. Now,
This is
you can
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that you can always use that more actions button and delete that seat if you want to.
And also, too, just to piggyback off that, when she cloned that seat, this is a perfect opportunity when you're building it out for maybe prospect employees. So if you're doing a hiring process and you're building out a new seat that may encompasses, maybe you have an assistant for the marketing assistant for that matter, this can come into play where you can just take all those roles and responsibilities, put it to its own separate seat, and then we decide to fill in it with maybe interviews or something like that. You can add those potential users there and use that during your fit check or something like that with the 101s.
Okay, great. At the very top in this responsibilities page, you will have this panel where you can select a new top seat. So the top seat won't update your accountability chart. It will just change the visibility. So instead of having the operator as a top seat, I want to have my marketing manager. So I click there and I go to marketing. And as you can see, I have visibility of just that portion of my accountability chart. So there's nothing new here. I can always go back and reset the top seat. It's just the visibility. That's what we can do with that specific dropdown. Now, you can also, in that panel at the very top, you can expand all your seats like this. So anything that's under any seat will be visible, and you can always collapse all of that. So I just have the operator seat and I can expand what I need to expand, the operations, and then just the marketing, whatever I need. You can also zoom out or zoom in as you need. And you can just reset your zoom if needed. Now, right after that, we have the option to print this accountability chart. Now, best practice here, if you want to share the accountability chart with multiple people, we always suggest if you can add them into your directory as observers. Observers are free roles and they will have access to 90. They just need to log in and they can always click on that responsibility chart just so they can have the updated version of your responsibility chart. Just a best practice, of course, you have that PDF button if you want to print it, whenever you want. So you can click there in the PDF button and you will have multiple options for this printing version. This can be multi-page or this can be a single page, and you can have a detailed view or a condensed view. In the detailed view, you will have your roles and responsibilities. In the condensed view, you will have just the seat name and the seat holder. So I just need to click on print and that will open a new tab with my PDF. I can always save this or just print it or wherever I want. Nice.
Yep.
Let me close this.
And also, too, everyone, just keep in mind when it comes to the reviewing of the life cycle of the responsibility chart, a lot of times it's best practice to review the information usually during your 101s, your quarterly meetings, annual meetings for that matter. But in any case, you always want to ensure that everyone is on the same page. And this can be done through even regular team meetings where a team can discuss any changes to a project, scope of timeline, and also update the responsibility chart accordingly. So it's important to keep the responsibility chart up to date so that everyone knows what the responsibilities are and also, too, what is expected of them.
You're right. So I think we cover the how to use your accountability chart. Is it okay if we start, moving this to our feedback section and why the accountability chart is important for that?
Yeah, hold on. We got a question real quick. Is it possible to have more than one chart in 90? Is it possible to have more than one chart in 90 at the same time? We have our chart, but need to be able to do what if chart to compare it to. What do you have on that one?
Well, so that's not possible just yet, but we have a workaround. So what I usually recommend is you can create a new company, call it, for example, 90OS demo accountability chart version. So it's just a company for you to build your sandbox accountability chart, you can add yourself as operator, sometimes called coach or implementer. So in that way, you're not a paid user. And everyone else, you can add them as just names or just observers if you want them to have access to that. That's a workaround, of course. The company will be free because you're adding everyone as observers and you will be the operator. Now, we have something in our roadmap for that specific request, multiple versions of your accountability chart. So there will be one real accountability chart that will be visible for everyone, but then multiple versions that can be customized by the leadership team. Of course, we will keep you updated, but yeah, at this point, we just need to go with that workaround. If you have more questions about that and you need help creating your account and all of that, just let me know.
And also, too, just to piggyback off that, remember the accountability or responsibility chart is going to be a team effort. So you may have this incorporated into your actual level 10 meeting or a weekly meeting for that matter. So if you have that responsibility chart somewhere else, maybe on a spreadsheet or document, you can actually incorporate that into your actual meeting itself as an external page and then make all your necessary updates. So when you want to bring it into the actual software, you can have us from the team upload the information for you in real time. So can you show them real quick how to create an add additional page real quick, just using like the 90 website or something like that in a L10 meeting?
Yeah. So in the meeting section, in the top right corner, you will have that settings icon. You can click there, and this is your default agenda. You can add a custom section. You can move your section around. So if you want to discuss this right after the data section, you can do it. And as Nathan mentioned, we can let me add, for example, a pricing page. I can just take this link and put it right here. So I just need to check my URL. I can see it is displaying the link in the right way. This will be reviewing, whatever. And then I just save this. And then I just confirm my link was saved. I'll check this once again. Okay, it is now there. So once I start my level 10 meeting or my weekly meeting, I can go to that new section I added and that will be visible there. So as Nathan mentioned, if you have your sandbox accountability chart in another platform or in a Google spreadsheet, you can put it here and review it with your team if needed.
Yep. Just ensure that everyone has access to it. You can still make updates to it too as well. Sometimes we go through our Monday board and we make updates to the information, but everyone will have to have access, especially if they are facilitating the meeting and they have to jump into that part of the agenda. So them having access will allow you to use whatever accountability chart you have. And then if you want us to upload the information for you, we got you covered. Free. Don't have to worry about paying for it. Unless you want to pay me. I don't mind. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Nice. Nice. So the responsibilities chart is something you should check before you start working on your feedback section, because during your quarterly conversations, annual reviews, and even the feed check, you will be reviewing that SID and the roles and responsibilities. So if you don't have your accountability chart well structured with everyone added, you won't be able to review that user or that teammate in your feedback section. So I would say before you go through the feedback section, this should be ready. Okay. Now, if we want to start our quarterly conversations and annual reviews or the feed check, just click right under the responsibility chart in the one-on-one or feedback section. Nathan, I know you want to go through the feed check first, so anything you want to add, best practice and how to use it?
Yeah, so when it comes to the the responsibility chart and tying in the one-on-ones, for that matter, it's going to take the triple C's, competent, committed, and also capacity into 90. If you're using EOS, GWCs, get it, wanted, capacity to do it. Aside from that, the one-on-ones and responsibility chart is pulled in and can be used in several processes. So a lot of times, you can add as many people as you want, to the responsibility chart. And this can come into play when you're transferring users from one seat to another, reviewing seats for that matter for a specified period. Maybe you're trying to promote another employee, or even hire or terminate another employee too as well. You can take that into full effect with this feature here. So let's go ahead and I'll walk you through it, Monica, and we'll go to the directory first and we'll start there. So say, for example, I am a hiring manager and I want to hire someone for a certain position. I'm going to go to the directory. I'm going to click on add person. And then from here, we're just going to add the first name and last name because they're not an actual attendee of the meeting. They don't belong to the organization at all. So we'll put someone like Tony Stark in there. Tony first name and Stark last name, because that's what came to my mind. And then from here, we're going to just click add to company. Okay, so she's going to come to the bottom, click add to company. And now we're interviewing for a specific seat. So from this location here, we're going to go to the responsibilities chart next. Okay, because we have a seat to fill, and we're going to go into the marketing, hit on the direct reports at the bottom there. She's going to expand that data. And then we have a marketing representative, and then we need more people in that seat. So we're going to click the little silhouette to the right, and we're going to find Tony Stark, and we're going to add this into this location for us. Tony Stark is right there. Now, keep in mind, he's not an actual user of software. We're just going to go through that interviewing process. And we want to make sure that he's aligning up with our core values and things of that nature. So from here, that's when the 101 is going to come into play. So we're going to go ahead and click on 101, or it may be called feedback in your case too. And we're going to go into the fit check, the third option there. So from this location, we're going to look for Tony Stark. It's going to be in alphabetical order, by the way. And there he is right there. So we're going to come to the right-hand side and click on new review. All right, so just give you a heads up, this is going to pull in the core values. So the leadership team, when they're leading, they're actually giving us a clear view of what our core values are, and is that person going to align to those core values? And also, too, is taking into effect, does this person meet the needs for this particular seat? So in this case, at the very top is bringing in the roles and responsibilities along with the seat name for that specific place that we're interviewing for. Okay, can this person develop, identify, manage social media, and also collaborate? If they're meeting the bar, we can have an interview with them still going through the core values, and this is just a drop-down menu. So to the right of GSSD, you'll have the option to hit a plus, minus, and we're going through that interviewing process with that individual. And this is just a one-sided conversation. So they may not even be seeing this particular section here, but essentially they're going to fill out all the core values there, come down to the very bottom. They're going to have the competencies there too as well to be filled out. Yes or no is going to be a question there. Once you have everything built into its place, you can start building up a report for that specific individual. There you go. Boom. And then you'll click save. So now we have a report for Tony Stark. We had our interview, and we can just definitely say, hey, is this a good candidate for this particular seat? Should we promote it? Should we be promoting this employee? Should we be terminating this employee because they're not meeting the core values, right? And to verify the information, maybe want to look and see how that report has been built. We can click into it. It shows exactly who gave that report, and it's showing what they're aligning to when it comes to the marketing representative there. Okay, and this can definitely help out with the hiring process. And if you do another one, say for example, you do one more, go ahead and hit new review once again on Tony Stark. Right, so she'll fill that information out again. Things may change a little depending on the frequency of the meeting that you were having. I know a lot of organizations, they'll conduct, reviewing for a specific seat, once a month. And this may come into play. Hey, are these persons still meeting the core values? Are they still lined up with that information in regards to the seats, roles, and responsibilities? And they're building up a report for that individual. And this can help streamline that one-on-one conversation they have with that core lead. So if you click onto Tony once again, now it's going to start giving you a roll-up of everything that transpired with every single report that's created. Once it thinks about doing it, you must have there it goes. Boom. So boom. So we can see exactly what's going on, where they're trending to the left, where they're trending to the right. And if we want to address that in our actual conversation with the individual, if they are a hired employee, we can do that with the quarterly conversation or annual conversation. I feel like I talked about it. Is that good?
No, that was perfect, Nathan. That was really great. Nice. So do we want to cover the quarterly discussions and the annual reviews, or do you think feed check is enough?
We can show them what it looks like if you want to do that. But just keep in mind that Remember, it's cascading the information from the accountability chart directly into this aspect of the core discussion or annual discussion too as well. So it's important to have this information rolled out to your team prior to these discussions because, as soon as the potential consequences of not clarifying those roles and responsibilities in an organization, it can include like confusion, maybe duplication of efforts, missed deadlines, and also decrease morale too as well, because when team members need clarification about their roles and responsibilities, they may be working on tasks that are outside of the scope, and they may fail to complete those critical tasks, which can impact the overall success of any project. So make sure before you actually conduct these fit checks or quarterly discussions and conversations, you're rolling this information out to everyone and they all understand their roles and responsibilities in relation to their seat. Okay?
Yep, cool. And I will go really quickly through the quarterly discussions. And I just want to show you the sections that will be cascaded from the responsibility chart, if that's okay. So I just need to click on create discussion. I will give this quick name, a time period, and I will go through quarterly conversations, but quarterly conversations and annual reviews will be very similar. The only difference is in my time period, you will select years instead of quarters. But other than that, they are really, really similar.
And just a quick side note is that the quarterly conversation, it can roll up or down. So if you are a manager, you want to give a quarterly conversation to your admin or something like that, you have the ability to do that. So it goes up and down. It doesn't go one direction.
Yeah, you're right. So now this is the section where you will need to have your accountability or responsibility chart ready. So you have the manager right here. You can always click there and select someone else in your responsibility chart. But today I'll leave myself as the manager. Now, for the managee or the team member, I want Nathan to be the team member that I want to review. Since he is in the responsibility chart, that's why I can select him. Then I click OK. Now, if I add someone else, let's say I want to review Kemp, for example. As you can see, he's not on a seat in the responsibility chart. That's why his name will be grayed out. So that's why I mentioned before, the first step before you go through your feedback section is building your responsibility chart. Now we have Nathan, and if he is the seat holder of multiple seats, you will have a seat drop down right here. So if he's part of the marketing, sales, and operations seats, he will have those 3 seats, and you will just select one, the one that you will be reviewing. Then we create the discussion, and basically the manager and the managee will have the same form. The only difference is that the manager will be reviewing the team member or the managee first, and the managee will be reviewing themselves first. Now, I have the conversation here, the discussion here. I click on start form, and similar to the fit check, you will have your core values and the competency, commitment, and capacity. But you will also scroll down. This is where you will be reviewing the competency, commitment, and capacity. But for the seat we are reviewing. So remember, we selected the marketing seat, so we have the role and responsibility and the description. So you will be saying yes, maybe, or no. And that will be exactly the same for the self-evaluation on the team member side.
Yep. Remember, it's going to be GWCs, guys, on that. If you're using EOS, it's going to be GWCs for you. If you're using 90, it'll be the triple Cs. I like calling triple Cs.
Yeah, that's correct. Other than that, I don't think we should really go deeper into the form of the quarterly conversations, because we want to find the let's say a connection with the responsibility chart other than this first section where you have your marketing seat, and that's it.
Yep. But just keep in mind that when you have your responsibility chart filled out and complete, it makes these conversations more meaningful and actually push that needle forward towards the vision of the overall organization. So always keep that in mind to have it filled out. And also make sure that everyone understands what their roles and responsibilities are and if they have the capacity to do it. Because if you don't have it there listed, you may be setting them up for failure. So always keep that in mind. All
Cool.
right.
So nice. Anything else you want to add, Nathan? I'll stop sharing if you think that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We're pretty much rolling up everything here now. Let me go back to my window. Zoom just populates all over my place, and then I always miss my spots. All right, here we go. Bam. All right. So, yeah, so we did all this information. Commonly asked questions. So if you have questions, I know you've been populating questions throughout the entire conversation here, and we're trying to address every single one of them. What questions may you have for us in regards to the software when it comes to the responsibility chart, the accountability chart, things like that? Any questions in general, let us know. If not, I know a lot of questions have been asked here today. So you may not have any more, but if you do, there's different ways to get in touch with
Actually,
Go ahead.
sorry, Nathan. Actually, Charles asked if the three C's can be renamed to GWC. And yeah, that's possible. Remember how I explained? Actually, I'll go.
Yeah, let me go ahead and stop my share so you can show that.
Yeah, as I explained on how to update the responsibility chart, the same process. You just go to your settings, our language section, but then I'll scroll down, and instead of stopping in my responsibility chart, I'll stop in the 101 section, and I can add the GWC that getting, wants it and has the capacity to do it. So yes, you can always customize that, and that will be reflected during your 101 section.
And one thing to note too on that is that it's going to update everyone's. It won't go backwards though. So if you had a previous conversation prior to this, it's not going to update that information, but it'll update everything moving forward for everyone in the organization. So admins, I think owners do have access to this part where they can make those changes.
Yeah.
Yep. And just keep in mind, if it's EOS, it should automatically revert to that if you want to change it to that location.
Cool.
Any other questions, feel free to chime in. We got about 13 minutes left, but I just want to give you all an overview that if you need to update or upload your information to the accountability chart or responsibility chart, there is an option there. You can talk with one of us from the support staff. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to notice a little chat bubble. That chat bubble allows you to talk with contact support. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Going into this window here, in the bottom right-hand corner, you have this little chat bubble. This allows you to talk with one of us from the support staff. So anytime you have a question, comment, concern, you'll see a few people up here. They'll give you a time frame for when they can answer your question. They're pretty prompt about answering those questions too as well. Have your accountability chart uploaded. Question that you may have them answered to as well. If you want to set up an appointment, maybe you're doing a kickoff call and you want to explain this information to everyone within your team, we can do that for you if you need to go into great detail about it. Usually it's like a 30-minute session. It could be longer depending on what you schedule in there. That being said, if you don't want to schedule that appointment, we do have different kind of briefs that you can read up on. We have video tutorials, step-by-step directions, everything here to help you execute your task. So, and it's all free for you. So take advantage of it. And if you see something that you want and it's missing, or maybe you having issues with the software for whatever reason, there is a provide feedback feature too. So coming to the opposite end side here, we have the provide feedback in this location. Once I click there, this gives you the opportunity to share your thoughts. So if there's something that you're missing, I know someone mentioned earlier that they want to have a demo accountability chart. Add that to the list. The heavier it gets, the more people requesting it, the more likely they're going to put it into the software. I know they have a plethora of things that they're putting into it, but we want to make sure we meet the means of the mass majority. Okay, so the more weight you put to it, the better it is going to be for you, because this software is created for you to make sure that you hold everyone accountable for their accountabilities. That's why everything is out there and open for everyone to see. All right. Anything I'm missing, Monica?
No, I think we're good. I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, man, thank you so much for coming in here and jumping in here. Monica came in here last minute, everyone. So I just want to say I appreciate her in here, and she did such a good job. We're going to have another one of these next month, I think we're going over the vision. Keep in mind, this will be listed for the fourth Thursday. Usually it's going to be conducted on the third Thursday. This month, it was on the fourth Thursday as well because I was out of town. Next week or next month, we will be having our quarterly conversation. So that's why we're pushing it to the right there. So if you have any questions and concerns, I'm going to send an email out here shortly with the new dates. And yeah, come back, join us again, set up an appointment with us. We got you covered. Well, have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll catch you next month.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.